day, everyone.
That was odd.
Well, I feel like we'll just start with a good day.
I think you already did.
I mean, I feel like that's all right? That's a cool intro.
Yeah, it's not bad. It changes it up.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like spicing it up a little
So
bit.
how about good morrow?
Good morrow? That would work too. We could do that.
Yeah. Good morrow, sir.
Good day. Good morrow-ning.
Good morning.
Except it's not. It's a good after. Hello, it's Aaron and Sean from Input Delay.
Good morrow.
Good morrow. We're gonna
What's going on, guys?
We're gonna do some arena run today. Actually, it'll be one arena run.
Arena running.
And it'll be less we and more me, and Sean will be observing.
Yeah,
but
I'm just here for insight.
I'm excited. I actually have some topics, some news things that happened today and yesterday that I was gonna wait for the podcast, but we should just talk about it on here, and then we can talk about it on the podcast anyway.
Midweek news break. We've never done this before. This is
first.
groundbreaking. By the way, go Warlock today so you can get those wins as a Warlock.
I could do that, or I could go as a Paladin because I know Paladin.
And they crush in Arena.
So this is like your first big choice of what decision do you want to make on what hero you want to be. Rogue, I feel like, is not quite as good in Arena, but it has a very good hero power. I'm probably just not as good with Rogue because I am not. It's probably my least played class. Warlock has a very good hero power because you can light tap and draw cards. Yeah. And then Paladin can influence the board by putting a 1/1 dude on the field. And I just happen to know Paladin better than the other classes because that's, aside from Priest, that's my most played class.
Good old
But I also
Pally.
play Warlock.
I prefer Warlock personally. I do think having the Arena deck, having that extra card tap is useful because you can get in situations where you need another card.
Yeah.
But again, I don't play much Paladin or Rogue, so
I also think that Paladin has stronger class cards, but that is up for debate.
And last time you played through Paladin, you did not get your board clear.
I did not,
and that made life very difficult.
Correct. I did not. All right, so we'll go with Warlock then. Except what do you get? Hellfire and Warlock as far as board clear is concerned.
That's like, and that hurts everybody. You also get Shadow Bolt, and that's directed at one minion though.
So because this is me, and I feel more comfortable playing Paladin, I'm going to pick Paladin.
I will fight with honor.
It's a bad move.
Just because that's what I am more comfortable playing. And in
move,
Arena,
guys.
it's not as huge, but since I am comfortable with the class, I know a little bit more. I feel a little bit better. The last 4 arenas that I've played have all been mage. So, and I'm not a great mage player, but
I bet you're a lot better now after 4 arena runs.
Here's what we're looking at. A Light Warden, a Mind Control Tech, and an Outdoor Peacekeeper. Light Warden is not great. You play it for 1 mana. It has 1 attack and 2 health. Can be killed by
anything.
2 mana minions, or 3 mana minions, or 1 mana minions that are 2/1s. It just does not survive. You can't really play it on turn 1, so you have to play it later in the game, meaning that it's not quite as powerful as you would want for a starting card. Mind Control Tech is actually really good in Arena because Arena is more about board control and it's more about minions than like spell combos and that kind of thing. So you're more likely to get that battle cry off. So Mind Control Tech is actually a fairly good choice. Outlaw Peacekeeper is also quite good, especially if you can combine it with like Stampede and Kodo. Since this changes the enemy minion's attack to 1, a Kodo will kill a random minion that has less than 2 attack. So it's kind of a crazy little combo.
Like a double whammy.
Both 3 mana, both 3/3s. This is a little bit more defensive, though this can nag you. It can snag you. Mm-hmm. It can grab you. It can take. You'll get a minion sometimes. So I'm going to say Mind Control Tech on this one.
That could be a late game changer.
Right. This one can flip the board in your favor. All right. Okay. Great cards. Not. Holy Wrath. Draw a card. Deal damage equal to its cost. Just totally random.
For a 5 cost, that's just not worth it.
Especially in a deck that you don't know what kind of mana curve you're going to have. If you're going to have enough late game that this might actually work. You normally have more 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s than you do of the late game, just in general. So you could spend 5 mana and deal 1 damage. So it's not really worth it. Murloc Tidecaller not great in Arena.
These
Ancient
are all
Mage,
just shit cards.
also not great in Arena. But at least it's a body, and if I do happen to get spells later, then it might be useful.
Ugh, it's like taking the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I mean, that's a lot of what Arena is you just take what you can get. Also, a hilariously bad pack. A Goldshire Footman, 1/2 with Taunt, Repentance, and a Noble Sacrifice. Goldshire Footman is bad. Repentance is not
The secrets
great.
are not great, but not terrible.
But I think I'm going to go with the Noble Sacrifice just because it might save a minion once, and that's the best of this 3. So we'll go with Noble Sacrifice.
Off to a weak start.
Oh, say this is a good one. Mind
Azure
Control Tech,
Azure Drake.
Sludge Belcher, and Azure Drake. The two, I would say, arguably the 2 best 5 drops
In the
game.
entire game, yeah.
Especially in Arena. Quite good. Sludge Belcher is arguably a 4/6 with Taunt, but it's better because you have to kill it first and then kill the second one. Azure Drake is great because you get to draw a card. Honestly, it's great because you can draw a card with it and you get the spell damage, so late in the game it's good because you can combo with the spell. Early in the game, you can use it to just continue to gain card advantage, which is awesome. So both are good.
Go Sludge Belcher.
But I am with you, Sean. I think Sludge Belcher for this pick. Mostly because it's just a great card, but either one is a good pick. It just... sometimes it sucks that you get a good pack and you have to choose between 2 good cards. Other times you have a really shitty pack
they were like
and it doesn't
making
matter.
up. They were making up for the 2 packs before that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
This is a pretty easy pick. Avenge is Paladin's best secret. One of your minions die, gain a 3/2 for a random friendly minion.
I have not
Redemption,
seen that
not
card
great
before.
again.
That's a great card.
This was a Nax card. And then Harvest Golem, which is a very, very good 3, with the exception of maybe Priests. Dark Cultist is one of the best 3s in the game. I would say the Dark Cultist is probably the best 3 in Arena, but Harvest Golem is a great
Not
early-ish
Avenge.
game card. Light's Justice, Elven Archer, not great. 1 damage for 1 mana. Even though you can do this 4 times, and this might be able to pop a Divine Shield or something.
Not worth it.
The Raptor is better, even though it's sort of a vanilla.
It's a great
3/2.
2 cost, though.
Yeah, I mean, you can have worse minions or worse weapons, namely those. So we'll go with Raptor. Holy Wrath, Twilight Drake, Knife Juggler. Knife Juggler is a solid 2. Twilight Drake can be good sometimes. And I would say if Twilight Drake was up against maybe some shittier rares, that I would probably go Twilight Drake. I still think Knife Juggler is the best. Holy Wrath still unpredictable and not consistent.
Oh, man.
Corsair, Imp Master, Pint-Sized Summoner. Corsair not really very good. Remove 1 durability from your opponent's
It's a
weapon.
waste.
It's a 1/2, so if you're playing it you can't really play it at the early game because what are the chances that your opponent is going to have
They're
a weapon?
going to have a weapon, yeah.
Maybe if you're a shaman and you have the Stormforge axe, or if you're playing the warrior and they get a fiery war axe.
It will
but-
very rarely come to play where
Yes,
you're going to need
exactly. Imp Master is a decent 3. It has a decent bit of health, so it can survive a couple of turns, and you can get some other 1/1s out there. Sometimes if you can have a taunt, or if you can have some buff cards, which Paladin is pretty good at, then this can be a very dangerous card. And then Pint-Sized Summoner is not a bad choice sometimes if you're up against some shittier rares, but usually it can get taken care of by other 2 drops because of its 2 health. It can't do a whole lot offensively. Most 2 mana cards have 3 attack instead of 2, but it has some good flavor text.
If you can protect it for a few turns, that could be highly beneficial.
It could. However, Imp Master is a little bit better as far as board presence is concerned. Pint-Sized Summoner, if it can survive a turn, then
becomes worth it.
Then you can get some use out of it.
But you also have to be able
But-
to have a card that you can summon at that point as well.
Exactly. I mean, if you play it on turn 2, depending on if you go first or go second, somebody's going to follow up with either a 2 mana 3/2 or even a 3 mana 4/2 like a tiger or something.
Jungle
that can come out
Panther.
and hit it. Right, the Panther. So I'm going to go Imp Master on this one. just because we are playing a Paladin, so maybe we'll get some buffs later, and those 1/1s can be useful. Even if they're not, the 5 health means that it might be able to stick around.
You'll at
for a
least
turn
get
early.
somebody out there or get something in return for
Exactly. At the worst, it'll be like a 1/4 and a 1/1, so like a 2/5, I guess. Croc, Magma Rager, Stormwind Knight. Magma Rager is awful. Croc, I would say, is not preferred. If up against a Raptor, I would say the
I
Raptor
don't
is
like
probably
the River
better.
Crocolisk. It's one of the basic cards, and like when I was just starting out, I had to use it so much. It's like I hate that card, honestly.
I mean, just looking at it, and because it's a basic card, you might think that it's terrible. It's not that
terrible.
bad because
I'm so tired of it.
it's just as good as Bloodfen Raptor because it can take out other 3/2s. However,
Ugh.
it doesn't have. It's missing an extra attack, but it has a little bit more defense. So if like that pint-sized summoner will not be able to kill it. 1 mana 2/1s would not be able to kill it. You might get a 2-for-1 with a Croc, where it's very hard to get a 2-for-1 with like a Knife Juggler or a Raptor. Stormwind Knight is not a bad card. 4 mana for 2 damage, and then you might be able to 2-for-1 something since it has 5 health. Seeing what we have: 2/2s, 3/3s, not a very good 4-drop. At the moment, I would say Stormwind Knight. A lot of 2s in Arena is good, though. So
You're going to take the Croc?
Nah,
Don't do it, man.
I'm going to say no. All right, Defender of Argus,
Ooh.
Demolisher, Violet Teacher. Violet Teacher is pretty good when you have spells. Don't have any at the moment, but still a good 4-drop in its own right. Demolisher is also not a bad card, but
Defender or Demolisher, for sure.
I definitely a Defender of Argus on this one, just because the Defender.
The battle
is a-
cries.
Yeah, it's just a really good,
Awesome.
just a really good rare,
Yeah.
solid in almost any deck. Especially in that the Paladin can create those 1/1s.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have something that you can buff up. You don't have to worry about playing it on an empty board like if you're playing with
Because
a
you can always throw
mage
something next to him
or
that'll get
something
that
else.
buff. Yeah.
You can. Paladin and Shaman makes this card very good because you can put something on the board with
Throw
your
a
hero
totem
power and
or
then
a freaking minion.
exactly. Okay. Blessing of Wisdom, Snapjaw, Leper Gnome. Leper Gnome is great in aggro decks if you want to be fast, but not great.
Snapjaw is just a 4-count damage pillow.
It's not a bad 4-drop, and like up against the Leper Gnome, I would say definitely the Snapjaw. Blessing of Wisdom is a decent spell. Not in all scenarios. I would much rather have like a Hammer of Wrath or a Consecration or a
You didn't get a
Blessing of
Hammer of
Kings.
Wrath last time either.
No. But Blessing of Wisdom is not bad, especially since at the moment we don't have any card draw. So at the very least, it'll draw us a card for 1 mana, hopefully.
I don't hate it.
Not bad. War Golem, Bloodsail Raider, Silvermoon Guardian. Bloodsail Raider, okay if you have a lot of weapons.
You're not going to have a huge... Oh, Hammer of Wrath, maybe. But
Golem is not a bad late game card, especially if you don't have any late game, which at the moment we do not. Silvermoon Guardian, a good 4.
you're not going to have any weapons in this deck, though. Maybe 1.
I would say that at the moment, with already 4 4s or 3 4s and no late game,
Go Golem.
I'm going to say Golem, even though there are better late game cards, namely the... Oh gosh. Now I can't remember.
On the clock.
Oh well. Anyway,
I love that card.
it's the shut up. It's the Paladin card. All right,
I
Consecration.
hate
This one's an
Silverback
easy pick.
Patriarchs. Ugh.
Not a great card. Again, Leper Gnome, Consecration. Just absolutely need it. Frost Elemental, Brewmaster, Light's Justice. Let's rule out the Light's Justice immediately. Frost Elemental is okay, but for 6 mana, you kind of want something better than freeze a character in 5/5.
The Brewmaster is a great card, though.
Yes, not a bad card. Sometimes its hero power can be, or its flavor text can be quite useful. Its battle cry. Other times you play it on an empty board and it's just a 3/2, which is
Still not
Raptor.
bad for a 2-count, even if
Sure.
it's vanilla 3/2.
No 6s, so the Frost Elemental is not a bad pick. But Twos are important in Arena, and it's a cool battle cry. There are a couple cards that could work off of it. So Mind Control Tech, Defender of Argus, Stormwind Knight, Belcher. You could brew them back to get that battle cry off again, or just to heal something. So a versatile card, at the very least a 3/2. Fen Creeper, Hand of Protection, Kobold Geomancer. So just like the Point-Size Summoner, 2/2 is not great, even though it says spell damage +1. It's not likely to last very long, and we don't have any spells that can sort of benefit off of it in the early game.
I'm going to take a wild guess and go Hand of Protection.
Hand of Protection is an okay card, and what it will, while it's not the best card that Paladin has as far as spells are concerned, you can give a minion Divine Shield, which will more often than not allow you to 2-for-1 with a minion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not bad. Fen Creeper is not great, and in some situations it's preferred over cards like the Geomancer. And with, again, sort of a weak-ish mid-game and almost no late game, it's not a bad card. But Hand of Protection is probably what I'm going with here, just because you can 2-for-1. Fairy Dragon, Dalaran Mage, Stormpike Commando. Fairy Dragon is okay, but at the moment, 1, 2, 3 2s. I'd like to have a couple more.
I thought we had more than that for some reason.
But it seems like it, right?
Yeah.
It's just because we're going through and we're talking about all these. It's taking a long time. Dalaran Mage, again, that spell damage is not as good as you might think.
And we've already got a couple of those in our deck.
Exactly. And already a couple of 3s. It's still early. But I would say just to even out the curve, Stormpike Commando is a good card. 5 mana, deal 2 damage, and it's a 4/2. Again, might be able to 2-for-1 something, take out something like a
Well, then you could
Raptor
definitely
or-
brew that back. That'd be a great card to brew back.
Absolutely. That would be another one that can go with his Brewmaster. So, Commando it is. Boom. Narubar Weblord, Light's Justice. Not great. Weblord is okay for pacing. You can sort of screw up an opponent, but a lot of times you'll just screw yourself up as well.
The
because,
Harvest Golem. Well.
You know, with all the things that we have in our deck that have battle cries, then
So wait, that's for
gonna be a
both
pain.
sides?
Yes.
Oh, that would be horrible.
All minions with battle cry cost 2 more. Again, another Harvest Golem. I'd say careful on the 3s after this, since we already have 4
now.
and we're a little low on early game since this is all spells and secrets. Ardent Squire, Thrallmar, Farseer, and Ooze. Ardent Squire is not terrible for a 1-drop, but probably the Infiltrator is a better card. Thrallmar, Farseer. If you look at that Wind Fury, you're like, oh yeah, it can attack twice. But most 2-drops have 3 attacks, so
Yeah,
it's
so
going
you're really
to
only
die.
getting 1 extra damage, and then you're going to lose
Right.
next turn.
Plus, you have to put it on the field and wait and hope that no one's going to kill it that first turn.
Oh, yeah, duh. I didn't
just
think about that.
It usually does not last.
Too easy to take it out.
Ooze is a great 2-drop, especially in Arena, going up against people that really choose weapons a lot. Warriors, Paladins, Shamans, because weapons are so powerful.
We have no 1s, and the Argent Squire is
It's
not
okay.
a bad 1, especially
It's-
with Divine Shield
It's okay
for early game.
because a lot of times in Arena you're going to pass on turn 1 anyway, and I would rather have an Ooze, which if we have it at the early game, you can play it on turn 2 and have a 3/2 out there.
Or you can hold it.
Or you can play it in the late game and then use it as a counter to a weapon. And that's more versatile than a 1-mana 1/1 with Divine Shield. Because at best, that's what, a 2/1 or a 2/2?
Yeah,
You know?
you're right. 2/2.
So, Ooze is just a great card. Redemption, Noble Sacrifice, and Consecration. This is easy. Consecration all day long. I would say that it's probably Paladin's best card. Bam.
And we'll have 2 of them now.
Yes.
That's hugely
Last
beneficial.
time I did the Arena with Paladin, no consecrations. Legendaries, holy goodness. Got the Beast, Lotheb, and Cairn Bloodhoof. Let's take a look
Oh my
at
God,
these
I'm
wonderful
excited now.
packs here. The Beast, Death Rattle says, summon a 3/3 Finkel Einhorn
Oh no.
for your opponent. Got an Ace Ventura reference up in this bitch.
I don't hate
It's
it.
6 mana, has 9 attack, 7 health. Without that Death Rattle, this is
That's
literally
a fantastic card.
a beast.
Yeah. Holy
Uh,
shit.
But it does not have charge, so you do have to put it out and wait. The chances of someone getting 7
It'll
damage
survive,
on
I feel like.
it'll probably survive, but that 3/3 might be hard to deal with. It's not a bad card. It's a legendary card. It's very strong, but not exactly a finisher because of its 7 health. Definitely better than like a Core Hound, like a 9/5. Loatheb is a great card in Constructed because you can prevent like a Miracle Rogue doing 20 damage on turn 7 or whatever it is when after they put out their gadgets in and start drawing the rest of their deck. You can prevent that from happening. Mages, you can prevent big swings. You can delay a fireball or a pyroblast or a flame strike.
Some of their big,
or
like, just straight health chunks.
Just
that they can
normal
take off.
cards, normal spell cards become a pain in the ass because of Loatheb, and that's why he's so great and Constructed, because people, put these decks together that have very specific combinations of cards.
They're
that
ready
use
to unleash
you.
a strategy, and now they
Right.
can't.
But in Arena, it's not quite as powerful because, just like we're doing, people have to pick random cards, and
It's
you don't
so
know
much
what
less
you're going to get.
predictable.
I mean, you don't know what spells are even going to be in there. Your opponent's hand might be full of minions. So
are you going to go Bloodhoofs?
absolutely. Karin is a really good legendary. I play him in most of my control decks. A 6 mana 4/5, and when he dies, he summons another 4/5.
That's so overpowered.
And 8/10
For 6 costs.
over 2 bodies.
You
pretty
can't argue
damn
with that.
good.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
We know who the real beast here is. God.
Humility, Mugashan Warden, and Eye for an Eye. Mugashan Warden is not wonderful because it only has 1 attack. So what is it really going to do? It's just a big body with taunt, and people can deal with it with silence, or even if they have a couple of minions on the board, they can just run into it because what's the point?
One attack. It's not going to hurt them.
Eye for an Eye, you're going to get hit as much as they do.
Humility.
Not a great card. Humility is not bad. I would prefer something else, but best of the 3.
Take what you can get.
Humility again, Unstable Ghoul, True Silver Champion. So, a couple of things. Again, Humility. We just talked about it. Okay, change a minion's attack to 1 minions. Change a minion's attack to 1. Pretty good. Deal with a big body. Unstable Ghoul. Taunt with Death Rattle. Deal 1 damage to all minions. Especially in Paladin, if you can get an equality, then this is a board clear. Because you equality, all the minions go to 1. Somebody kills a ghoul.
Done.
That's it.
But
So
we don't
a
have
board
one yet,
clear
so we
for
can't say
4
that.
mana.
That's
because
amazing.
if you play the ghoul first, then play equality on the next turn, then you can attack with the ghoul into something that'll kill it, and then clear the board.
Game over.
Almost like a pyromancer or an abomination will do the same thing. So in Paladin, this card is better than normal. But I don't even know why we're talking about the other 2
True
cards.
Silver Champion.
It's True Silver Champion.
Clearly the way to go.
4 damage, 2 durability weapon that restores 2 health. It's just fantastic. So glad we got one of them. All right.
Oh,
So
there's the
Mana
Kodo.
Wraith, Twilight Drake, Kodo. Kodo is absolutely wonderful with Humility, and I don't think we picked up that Eldor Peacekeeper earlier. But still, Kodo, Humility is wonderful
man.
to take care of. Well, I mean, 2020 hindsight.
I'm just a fan.
right?
I'm just a fan of the Peacekeeper. It's just one of my favorite cards.
2020 hindsight. Flesh-eating Ghoul, Shield Bearer, Novice Engineer. Ghoul is not
The
bad.
Shield Bear's
Shield Bearer is not good.
not good, but I mean, we have no ones really, and that's like.
It's okay.
Could
We will
hold down.
pass on turn 1. It is fine. It is totally fine.
I still have that beginner's love of high health taunt.
It is
I haven't gotten rid
totally
of it
fine.
yet.
You still have not,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
It
You
just-
will.
It keeps me safe.
You will pass it up. Flesh-eating Ghoul is not bad in Arena because you can throw it out there, kill some things, die, and get big. However, it only has 3 health, so when it's really good late game, it can deal with it. Your opponents can deal with it.
They can knock it out in 1 turn essentially.
Normally, I would say this is what we would go with, but I don't think we have any card draw other
I think we have
than
one, yeah.
the Blessing of Wisdom. So even though this is kind of like 2 mana, draw a card, hopefully deal 1 damage, and it's not a great card, I would still prefer this over the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Some people might yell at me for making this pick because the Ghoul is definitely strong.
A better
But,
card in general.
Late game, since we don't have any card draw, having something that can draw
He's going
us
engineer. He's
would be
getting
useful.
crazy. Hey,
This is-
Peacekeeper. Hey.
This is a relatively tough pick. because the Pyromancer is a really good 2-drop. We don't have any equalities, so we don't quite have that combo. The Outdoor Peacekeeper works very well with Kodo, and one is probably up there for one of the best Paladin cards. But, and then there's, Holy Wrath, which, stop it. We've seen enough.
We've seen that card, 4 times now? At least 3.
We said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2-drops. 1, 2, 3. Really only 3 threes because the Mind Control tech is played later.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the Outdoor Peacekeeper really isn't made to play on turn 3 because you'd rather use it on something big, which means it's a late game card. This is tougher.
What to do?
I would say just because of Kodo, and in a perfect scenario, you could brew back the Kodo or brew back the Peacekeeper. And since we don't have equality, and it's this late, I mean, the chances of us getting equality in the next 5 packs.
Not hopeful.
It's a tough one, but Peacekeeper narrowly wins it out on this one. Leper Gnome, Ancient Brewmaster, Repentance. Already have a lot of 4s, but the Brewmaster is the best of this pick. I'd say after this, no more 4s whatsoever. We have a weapon and 2 consecrations, so really there's only 3 drops here.
It also adds that whole, we can brew back twice now, which is a huge benefit.
This is true. So we'll go with the brew. See what we got here. Okay.
Not bad.
This one's tough. Silverhand Knight, a great 5, especially in Arena. A 5-mana 4/4 that summons a 2/2 alongside it is great.
So essentially a 6/6 for 5, split across 2 buttons.
If you want to think about it that way, yes. But it's also good just because in Arena you're really hoping to control the board and make trades and just stall the game.
So you're flooding the board a little bit.
Very good job of that. Cult Master is also very good in Arena, especially for card draw. We already have a lot of 4s. Cult Master is so good, though. But both of these cards are very good. The Brewmaster is a good card, and we don't have quite as many 2s as are probably necessary in Arena. But I don't think that I could pick a Brewmaster over a Cult Master or Silverhand Knight.
I would go Silverhand Knight, personally. But you seem to really be loving that
Belcher,
that Cult Master right now.
Stormpike Commander on 5. Late game is really weak, and that's what I'm looking at right now. 1, 2... 2 late game cards. Cult Master is great for card draw, but I think
honestly I would
Knight
get the Brewmaster again.
I know you would, but I'm gonna go with the Knight on this one. Noble Sacrifice, Magma Rager, Harvest Golem. Already have 2 of them, but the best of the 3-pack. No use grabbing a Noble Sacrifice. 3s could sort of even out our early to mid game. Golem it is.
So many gold. Oh, another consecration.
Another consecration. A Worgen Infiltrator. I know, Sean, you're going to say that we don't have any 1s.
Nope, I'm good on that.
Okay, good.
We're going to pass
Consecration it is. We'll have 3 of them. And an Azure Drake, a Bloodsail Corsair, and a Deathlord. Deathlord is an okay card sometimes, but is very unpredictable. You don't know what cards are coming out. You don't know what people have in their deck. It very likely could be a Cairn that comes out, or...
Do they get to choose the card?
No, it's random.
Okay.
It is random. Bloodsail Corsair, okay, especially since we have a weapon. If we had more weapons, this would make a little bit more sense, but still a shit card, no matter how you swing
God-awful.
it. If we had 8 weapons in this deck, I still wouldn't pick this. Plus, it's for your opponent's weapon. So, Pirate's just not.
So that whole thing was just pointless.
Yeah, I think I was thinking it was a Bloodsail Rapier.
I noticed that, but I was just I was letting you ramble.
Nick, just yell at me next time. Just say,
fun.
Harvey, you make no fucking sense. You're an idiot.
You're
and
the
then
expert.
I'll be like,
I
okay.
trust your backwards opinion.
Well, I wasn't looking. I was just so excited. I was like, look, an Azure Drake. This is an awesome card. So,
well, I guess
Azure
you're
Drake
not going to go with Deathlord then.
No. All right. So,
a solid deck.
I would say that it has some really quality cards in it. Looking at like Cairn and the Kodo, Aldor Peacekeeper / Humility combo, as well as 3 consecrations. Defender of Argus is good. Sludge Belcher, awesome. 3 consecrations is huge. A True
That's
Silver
insane.
Champion. Curve is okay, but
Late
could
game
probably
is not,
deal with a couple less 4s and a couple more 6s and 7s for the late game.
late
But
game is not there.
hopefully we will do better
Hopefully there is no late
in the
game.
early game. Correct. Hopefully we just stampede all over their asses.
Oh, it was a Kodo joke. God damn it.
Boom!
Goes the dynamite.
Goes it indeed. Okay, so we're gonna
no,
end
it's
the,
already starting.
we're gonna end the arena pick thing here. We'll move on in a separate video to actually play some games with this deck and see how it works.
Yeah, all that build up for nothing. How do you guys feel now?
Well, the next video will be out, so it's okay. It's
Yeah, I
just
know. Just want to
we don't want it to be like 45 minutes long, and then they have
You
to
don't want
keep
your
watching.
audience to love you. You want them to hate you.
I need them to love me.
Well, then maybe
I don't
you
want
shouldn't
them. I
give
need
them false information about cards.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
I think
okay.
you're more betrayed than they are right
I am
now.
quite betrayed. You taught me everything I know. I feel you should be guilt-ridden. Anyway,
All right.
Till next time, guys.
In the next video, we will see how this deck responds to some opponents and hardship, and then Sean will get over his neediness and nonsense.
Good morrow.
Morrow Ning. Goodbye.
Bye.